Unit G, Excel 2010, on page 160, previewing and printing a worksheet. Begin reading the paragraph under the title Previewing and Printing a Worksheet. That starts when you finish working with a worksheet. When you've completed reading the paragraph, continue with this tutorial. This is a continuation from Enhancing a Worksheet on page 158. Step 1. Click the File tab, then click Print. The Print tab opens in the Backstage view, and the Sales Forecast worksheet appears in the Print Preview area, as shown in Figure G-19. Notice that the header and footer text appear at the top and the bottom of the page. Your header and your footer. This worksheet is set to print in portrait orientation, where the page is taller than it is wide. You can change this to landscape orientation, where the page is wider than it is tall. To do this, click the portrait orientation in the settings area, and then click landscape orientation. So, portrait orientation, landscape. Notice how the page changes from thin to wide. Next, click Show Margins button. That's down here in the bottom right. Lines appear in the worksheet indicating the location of the margins at the normal settings. The margins look fine at the normal setting, so there is no need to change this settings. The margin is where you actually want the content to be placed in, how far you want it to be spaced, thin or wide. You can actually change this to be set over here closest to the edge of the page, farthest from the edge of the page, so forth and so on. Next, click the Zoom Page button in the lower right hand corner of the Print Preview area. That's this button right here. Notice it expands the view. We click it again, it zooms out. It's not much on my screen since I have such a large screen and this view isn't necessary. But on a smaller computer set at 1024 by 768 in its screen resolution, the zoom in will probably expand in a much larger area. Verify that the printer is on and connected to your computer, and then correct the printer appears and that the correct printer appears in the name text box. If you're printing this at school, it'll be something with along the lines of printer SF5 or 10 or whatever it's set at. Make sure it's not set to OneNote, otherwise it'll print to OneNote in a virtual copy. I have mine sent to my Do PDF, which converts all my prints into PDF files. Again, for you will want to set it at something that actually physically prints. If you are at the school, click the Print button. Otherwise, skip step 7. Next, save your changes. Shortcut save as. Right here, you would actually have to just click Save. We go back to the File tab, and then submit your completed work to your instructor. This wraps up previewing and printing a worksheet.